Welcome, guys, to our new episode of Son of a Buttonmasher. We are so excited to be with you. My name is Alex, along with my friend Wiley.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. I'm so happy that we finally kind of have an official name to that. It's Yeah, Baby. YEAHBEBE, all lowercase. That's what I'm officially calling it from now on.
Don't put me in a box, man. My yeah babies they transcend time.
They
I don't know what that means exactly, but
as well as
cool.
consonantal structure. So I think it's so us. I love it, and I appreciate you. That was like the first thing out of the gate. First episode we ever record. He just comes straight out of the gate with yeah baby, and it's very us.
That's a nice way of introducing myself.
Yeah, it really worked well for you, dude. And I think it worked well for our brand, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
So excited to come to because this was the first. Last week's episode was the first episode that we ever got on Spotify.
Yeah, baby. Wait, I can't repeat myself. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's
too many yeah babies can overpollute this thing. I want to oversaturate it.
That's a matter of debate. Honestly, I mean. We work with people that, overuse I love that or I like that. So I think if we can overuse yeah baby, I think we'll be settling a balance that even Thanos would be appreciative of.
I don't want it. I don't want to oversaturate it. I want it to be fresh, hip, cool.
Which we are none of those things.
How dare you, sir?
I dare. So anyway, we are so excited to be on Spotify. And I also found out today that we're on another platform called Radio something. I put it on
Radio something.
Yeah, it's actually called Radio something. Hang on, I'm checking. Bear with. Radio Public. We're on a website or app called Radio Public, which I've never heard of before. So, and just for anybody who has listened on our YouTube before, and if you are listening on our YouTube channel right now, you can check us out on Spotify, but I'm going to continue posting these to YouTube just in case it doesn't hurt to do it. And we may even actually end up using that account for other actual videos. I don't know. That's probably something me and Wiley will have to talk about behind the scenes, but I'd like to use that for something a little bit more extended. Maybe if we even do video podcasts, which that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's true. We can do that.
We shall see. And if you got any ideas of what we can do with the video, the YouTube channel, then I'm definitely open to hearing them. Wiley too. Although I don't normally speak for him, he's very good at speaking for himself.
I try.
So anyway, we're so excited to be on Spotify finally. So yeah, just search for Son of a Buttonmasher. We have a slightly new logo. So it was just a stock photo off of anchor.fm, so which I'm happy with, honestly.
Hey, Rome wasn't built in one day, all right? It takes time.
This is true. Although I feel like, there are certain people who have had their branding for so long. It's just that's pretty much timeless. But then again, we're just a couple of geeks doing this for fun, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not taking this seriously at all.
We're not taking this seriously at all. This is funsies, okay? So
all right, let's move forward.
I apologize. I'm coming up from a nap, so my brain is still kind of
nap brain. I totally get that. As somebody who works overnight shifts, and I know you get it because you're somebody who works early mornings. I totally get that nap brain.
Yeah, naps are amazing. So anyway, last week we had a bit of a discussion that we hadn't got to finish yet. Wiley, would you like to remind the lovely people what you were asking of me?
Well, we were talking about, I brought up American Gladiator names because me and Jared, when we were, years ago, we love American Gladiator. It's fascinating. It's hilarious. It's full of spandex. It's so great. And testosterone as well. A lot of testosterone. And so I was just talking about how, we notice all their gladiator names are just ridiculous. It's like Tower, Gemini, Blaze, Laser, just ridiculous. Like,
they got the
not
man dictionary
people
and they
names.
just dumped out all of the words into a flippin' hat. It was like the hat from Whose Line Is It Anyway? It was like the American hat that they pulled the suggestions out of, and they're like, all right, here's your American Gladiator name, Blade.
It's like,
okay,
throw out all the real people names and include just maybe random nouns and just like random
nouns,
items that you might find around the house or outdoors that could sound really masculine if you just threw it in front of some muscle head.
Yes, and I found this out very dramatically when I was going to figure out. I was trying to come up with one on my own, but then I was like, I at least need some context and something that I can frame it around. So I decided to go online to an American Gladiator name generator. And it wasn't one where you just hit like randomize and you could select whichever one. No, you had to complete a personality survey.
It's so scientific.
I'm not making this. It was so scientific, and it was like, one of those ones that was like, okay, you're introverted, and then you also have some masculinity issues, so we're gonna give you Blaze or something. So anyway, I go ahead and answer all the questions as honestly as I can. It took about like 20-30 minutes. I calculate the results, and it gives Scalpel.
That is terrible.
That is an awful. First of all, why is that even an option that can be chosen?
He's precise.
He's precise. He's as precise as a sniper. So we're gonna call him Scalpel. I mean, I guess when you put it like that actually sounds kind of cool.
Yeah,
but the name Scalpel, it just sounds like a 45-year-old aging man.
It's gotta
that
be
doesn't know
blunt.
what he wants to do with his life.
It's gotta be blunt. It cannot be so technical. It can't be sneaky or kind of like shifty. It's Gladiator. It's got to be blunt. It's Hammer. It's Slade. It's something that's just like
Slade.
so in
randomly
your face.
I'm Deathstroke in the American Gladiator tournament. So
it's a beautiful thing, and you gotta pick it carefully. You gotta pick it carefully because otherwise you're doomed. You get a bad American Gladiator name, pack it in.
Exactly. So I think I've come up with one though, and oddly enough, after I went through the test again, I actually found little words and pieces in the responses to the questions that I'm like, that actually sounds kind of cool. So I think I actually have a fairly decent American Gladiator name now.
All right, lay it on me.
All right, so drum roll, please. Falcon Axe.
Falcon Axe?
Yeah,
I think
it sounds like macho and cheesy enough that it would totally work.
It definitely does.
It also sounds like a glam metal band from the 80s.
Falcon Axe. Yeah, no, that definitely does. I like it. It sounds good. What's cooler than a falcon? Not much.
Falcon Axe.
And then just throw in a random weapon. There you go. Falcon Axe. I like it.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So I literally saw it was like I think one of the questions was like, what's your spirit animal? And I went through like dog, wolf, and I'm like, it's too obvious. And then it was like fish or some kind of aquatic creature, and I'm like, no, that's not quite me. And then I saw owl, hawk, falcon, all one response. It was like owl/hawk/falcon. I'm like, falcon could work. And of course, my first thought is like Super Smash Brothers, like Falcon Punch. Which I did love Captain Falcon back in especially in Melee days. He was fun to play as because I had no idea what he was saying whenever you would do the taunt. It'd be like, I mean your moves. And I'm like, what's he saying?
Dude,
and it took me a long time. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out he was saying, show me your moves. And I was like, okay. Not exactly sure what you mean by that. And I'm
just show him your moves. He's interested.
Yeah. He's if Captain Falcon was a real person, he's not a person I would want to run into on the streets. I'd meet him in a dark alley and I'd be like, who's this guy following me? All of a sudden I hear, show me your moves. And I'm like, I'm running.
You're not ready. Bye. You still have your nap brain. You're like, oh.
I still have my nap brain.
Oh, what moves?
What moves? My move is I can curl into a fetal position and sleep. There you go.
That's a dangerous move right there. Always effective.
That's why it's the most powerful move in a Pokemon game. You just. I see that, like, I saw that as an option one time for when I was playing Pokemon Shield, and I'm like, any move that makes my character sleep, even if it's for a stat change, I'm like, this is stupid. Why?
No, dude, it's huge.
That?
If you have Snorlax, you have somebody with mega amounts of health, it's pretty dang good. And check this out. We just immediately hit a random tangent on Pokemon, but is what's happening right now.
This is son of a Buttonmasher.
There are certain moves, like my Snorlax on Pokemon Shield. I have a Snorlax, and he has Rest, and then he has, I forget if it's either Snore or a different, but there's a few moves that can only be used when you're sleeping.
Interesting.
And so you can rest, and then for 2 turns you can use like Snore to attack them while you're sleeping. So let me tell you, it can be very, very useful and very frustrating to fight against because you just keep healing and beating him up, healing and beating him up, and
yeah, that would drive me crazy. I've heard some people can like really do some cheesy things with the system, and I don't have the brain for that, honestly. I'm just like, I just want to beat the final 4 and the big guy. And
Pokemon is dying for an overhaul on its gameplay mechanics.
Yeah,
dying. Which, I mean, one.
Yeah, I here's the thing is, at least this is just me from the outside looking in, because Shield is really the first game I've really played of any of this series. Granted, I do have Omega Ruby, but I've barely scratched the surface on that game. It's one of those games, like, I want to say, not necessarily like an NBA or NHL 2K, where it's basically the same game over and over, just with updated graphics and mechanics. Or not mechanics, but but more like a game like Mario Kart or something like that, where it's basically the same premise, but they add like those few new things to make it a little bit more interesting. Like, I think with Shield, that's a pretty big, expansion to have a basically open world mechanic. Guarded is still fairly linear, but it's doing that's a fairly innovative mechanic, and you kind of don't want to lose the spirit of it.
Yeah, and I get that. I think, but it's different though, because like you said, you haven't played a lot of Pokemon in your life, correct?
No.
You said okay.
Yeah, it's been fairly recent.
I totally get it, because it is the granddaddy of those types of games, of collecting, upgrading, evolving, and stuff like that. But as somebody who has played since the very beginning, I played Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow when they first, on the Game Boy, and I've played off and on throughout all the years. And if you went back and played those games, I mean, theoretically, it's pretty much the same game. I mean, obviously, it is way dulled down. There's no bells and whistles and all that, but the actual gameplay is the same.
Yeah.
I mean, if you strip away, like I said, the bells and whistles, you strip away, Mega Evolutions or whatever, to its core, the gameplay
Which,
is
granted,
exactly
Dynamaxing is very, very cool, especially from someone. Yeah. So, and the idea of G-Maxing and Dynamaxing as Pokemon, for starters, I think is a great mechanic, but I wish it was more utilizable. Is that a word?
Probably.
Probably. You know what?
Not, you just
Merriam-Webster, fight. That is a word down.
Trendsetters. Okay. Let's go.
Trendsetters, yes. Son of a Buttonmasher, we're trendsetters. Okay, utilizable. Yeah, that's a word. What am I talking about? Anyway, yeah, that's that nap brain coming back again.
There it is. There it is.
I do wish it was more accessible in terms of, like, I wish I could, like, literally G-Max a Pokemon in the wild area and just freaking smash, like, a random wild Pokemon.
It's like, at this point, I have no problem with the idea of traveling across this land and, like, battling people and getting the badges and trying to do that. I have no problem with that. It's just the gameplay. The gameplay doesn't keep me coming back to be like, oh man, I can't wait. When your game, let's be honest. When we get into a battle, our first thought is, all right, let's get this over with so I can go try to catch more.
Yeah, that is that. I do agree with that, especially from playing for the first time. Like, I get the idea of excitement of like leveling up your characters and whatever, and the grind is kind of nice in some regards because you really do feel like you're working towards, you know, a superstar team.
Right.
That is pretty cool in and of itself. But yeah, the going through like, okay, so here's the rest of your team, and you know, thank God for EXP share, because I remember because I had played, actually, sorry, I take that back. So I have played Omega Ruby, I've played Shield, and I have played a little bit of Pokemon Yellow, because it was just a random game on a 2DS that I kind of wanted to try it out for the, like, one of the OGs. So there is no EXP share. Anything before, I want to say Diameter Sapphire. And I don't know why I'm pulling that out of my hat, because I don't know. But I'm assuming it's before then, that they did not have EXP share of any kind. So if for the idea of you having to literally use that Pokemon, use that Magikarp for however long to get it to Gyarados, I would throw it away in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, the EXP share, it is a lifesaver. And they've had it, like you said, they've had it for a while, but it wasn't as, it used to be you just gave the EXP share to one of your Pokemon and they just got some extra EXP without having to fight. It was like a held item. And so, yeah, no, it's much better now. It helps out. I mean, they've balanced it to where it works just fine.
Mm-hmm. It works well, I think. It's been enjoyable to me, and I thought it was so funny because I'd actually captured a Magikarp for that specific reason, to get it to Gyarados. Am I saying that right? Is it Gyarados or is it Gyarados or a dose or something? Okay, because I saw the spelling for the first time in Shield, and I'm like, that's not right, is it? I was slightly confused. So, but yeah, it's Gyarados. Okay, so I literally decided to fight with Magikarp, because I thought that was the only way you could really to get him health. And I experienced 20 plus years of frustration trying to level that thing up. And then the embarrassment of realizing EXP share was a thing, because I had been playing the game for at least 10 hours. So I know it's a thing. And I realized I could just go with any of my other Pokemon, go to a higher level area, because it was like a level 20 and I had a level 30 team. Yeah. And I'm like, I could have gotten him into Gyarados so much longer ago. And I'm like, oh, you moron.
Yeah.
That was an odd feeling. Oh boy.
Look, I'm just gonna say this right now. We don't have to talk anymore about Pokemon, but I have the key. I know exactly how to fix Pokemon and make it 10 times better. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You turn it into the game. The gameplay turns into a fighting game. The 4 moves go to each button on the face buttons on your controller. Use the triggers to jump and dodge. And I'm telling you right now, it would be so much better. And I don't think you'd have to completely shake up the entire foundation without changing the gameplay.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun idea. I think the only thing with that is that if you're basically going to turn it into Pokken Tournament, because that sounds a lot like Pokken Tournament, is
but Pokken Tournament, I'm not saying you, like, I don't know, Pokken Tournament had like 15 characters and it was like, well, this is stupid. I want to go catch Pokemon and then battle them. It's not like the fighting mechanics have to be so rock solid that it's like the greatest fighter ever. It's just make the gameplay more interesting. I don't want to sit here and just keep pressing A over and over. Just go fight, pound, then skip through the version, fight, pound, get the health a little bit lower, and you know what I mean? It's not fun. Make the gameplay fun, interesting, and interactive.
So basically, just combine the regular Pokemon franchise with something like Pokken Tournament to a degree, a slight degree. So I think that's cool. All right, so I don't know how much time we got left. According to my clock, it was like we've been talking for like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, a little bit less than that.
So going from one type of evolution to another, because when at this point when it comes out, I have seen the PS5 reveal event as of Thursday.
The game showcase.
Oh my goodness. I was literally gonna try and wait so I could watch it with my dad a little bit, but I'm like, I can't. I gotta I gotta see, man. I gotta see. And thankfully, I got to be in right as they were showing Spider-Man Miles Morales. Oh my gosh. We are literally going to get to play Into the Spider-Verse to an extent. I mean, it's probably not Into the Spider-Verse, but it's the idea of playing as Miles Morales, being the brand new Spider-Man. And I think that's super cool. And I love the look of the environment. I had a feeling that Spider-Man would be able to make a pretty quick turnaround because they wouldn't have to do too much to the actual bones of the game. They would just have to make the new story, record the new voice lines, and so on.
Right.
So that was an amazing reveal, and it makes me so happy to see that. Well, for starters, that PlayStation Studios is actually coming out with their own games. I mean, Spider-Man being a big one. I believe Ratchet and Clank is technically the new Ratchet and Clank game, by the way, Rift Apart, which actually looks really good. It looks like any other Ratchet and Clank game I've ever seen in my life.
Is that a good thing?
It is a good thing, I think. You know, and they always try to incorporate something fairly new to it, and I'm kind of interested to see how the alternate dimensions things work out. But what really makes me hopeful, and I know I've probably said this because with the advent of PlayStation Studios becoming a thing, there is new hope for Sly Cooper 5 to become a thing. And it makes me nervous because here's the thing, you know, backtracking a little bit, Sanzaro had the license for when they made Sly 4, and they also did the HD remaster for PS3 way back when, and that got ported to PS4. After Sly 4, there was a cliffhanger, and then Sanzario lost the license. Since then, we have had a teaser for a movie that didn't happen. It was supposed to happen in 16. It is now 20, and still nothing. And then a Technicolor TV show. Was it Technicolor, Technovision, something like that? They were supposed to come out with a TV show in October of last year. That didn't happen. And we're still stuck with it's literally in limbo. And it drives me crazy. But Sony still has the license. They have the license. They have not given it to anybody else. And they have come out of the blue saying PlayStation is having their own development portion of the company. And they have that license. So there is a renewed hope. And I'm so freaking excited. I'm hoping there's going to be a reveal at some point. I mean, this is all speculation, but
dude, you know, that's one of those ace in the holes. Like, all right, guys, we're about to blow the socks off these people.
Actually, that's nowhere near. Sly Cooper is a cult classic at best.
I don't know, man. If they announce that, there'll be a lot of people who'd be pretty pumped. I
mean, their ace in the hole is going to be something like Nathan Drake coming back randomly, which I know they said they wouldn't do, but Sony is Sony, and they'll have their way. They'll at least have a new Uncharted game with like Sam Drake or something.
It's like Nintendo with Waluigi. It's like, dude, they're holding on to that for a rainy day, and they're like, all right, you guys got a problem with this? All is forgiven. Boom. Waluigi's in Smash Bros. Oh my gosh.
They would make so many sales just on the fact if he was a DLC character alone.
Yeah, you guys gonna get the Super Smash Bros. Waluigi edition?
Waluigi edition.
It's the exact same game, but Waluigi's in it. It's another $60. Boom.
He's the only character in the entire game.
People would probably do it. People would still probably throw down $60 just to get that version. Comes with Waluigi skin for your controller.
Okay, I'd buy that.
See, that's what I'm telling you, dude. They could do that so easily. Boom! All that money back in the bank.
Yeah. So, but anyway, the whole PS5 reveal made me so happy. Finally got a look of a console, which, I mean, is very striking.
It's very futuristic looking.
It is, which makes me kind of excited because, you know, it's granted it's probably not the best looking thing that they could have made, but it is. I have no words. I have no words for this thing.
I'm looking at it right now. I think it's kind of goofy looking.
It's a Wi-Fi router. So, although if that actually was a router built into the system, that would actually probably be pretty handy.
Yes.
So, but
I would say so myself.
yeah. So, but it makes me super pumped. I mean, I was texting with a friend of mine, and he was talking about the Spider-Man reveal, and he and I have been talking about it, and he were like, man, we gotta hold off. We gotta wait for the bugs to get patched. We know that they're gonna come out with a pro edition, yada yada yada. That Spider-Man trailer drops, and he texts me like, dude, I am getting it now. And I'm like, yeah, me too. If it comes out at launch, I am buying it day one. I do not care. This is happening. No shame. It is gonna happen.
There's no shame. I think that's why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a great. You know it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
You know it's gonna
be good. Yeah, and it looks incredible too. Like, I mean, I didn't know how they were gonna step up from Spider-Man 18. I mean, but it definitely lives up to what the PS5 is supposed to be. And honestly, I'm really excited to get my hands on this DualSense controller because I'm excited to see what the new haptic feedback feels like. I kind of do like the stark white of it. Actually, I just realized something. In looking at the controller and kind of comparison with the system itself, it kind of almost looks like a grown-up Dreamcast. You know, almost. At least with like the controller.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, like you remember the Dreamcast controllers where it had like the little screen in the middle and it had this kind of like, you know, it was kind of like a
yeah, I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a little bit more angular and sleek looking, but it kind of reminds me of a Dreamcast. I never would have thought about that. So
I guess I kind of see that.
Yeah, I mean, it can. But yeah, PS5. Oh, man, I am super excited. I feel really bad for the Xbox guys. I haven't seen any of their conference, honestly. Series X, I'm sure will be.
You say you feel bad for Xbox?
Yeah, a little bit. I do feel bad for Xbox. Dude? I don't know. I mean,
Xbox is gonna be fine, man.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
By the way, yesterday, did the PlayStation, did they announce anything about backwards compatibility?
Well, here's what they have announced, and that is it will technically be backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 games. So, although I'm kind of
not before that. No PS3 or PS2
No,
games?
that, you know, I think there were still rumors, even after Sony had said it's only going to be PS4. They actually said that back in March at the very lackluster PS4 event, not State of Play, whichever that they had with the one guy that sounds like the American Brian Cox. I don't, he's not CEO. I think he's like COO or something. He's like head of the tech department, I want to say. But anyway, in hearing him, he basically explained that the PS5 and the PS4 are similar in a couple of regards to the point where they can actually have the PS4 games work on the PS5, which is great news. And then with the reveal of the actual PlayStations themselves, they have revealed that it's going to be a digital version only, as well as a disc version where they will allow you to have digital and discs, or it has a disc drive basically. So there is an option that you can have your old PS4 discs, put them in, or if you have like a bunch of digital games on like an HDD or an external drive, that will be usable.
Well, I'll tell you this, that the backwards compatibility is not going to be it's not that huge. Like, it sounds more important than it really is.
Yeah, again, it's gamers making a big deal out of something that's not that big a deal.
Right, and it is important to a certain degree because there's a lot of older games that I like to play, so it makes it easier. So don't get me wrong, like it is great, but it's like, it's not like oh man, well, I'm not gonna buy it if I can't play the old ones, because you know you're gonna want to play the new and improved, all the best stuff. But
right.
First of all, Xbox is gonna be fine. You don't have to feel bad for Xbox.
Then again, I've not seen much out of it except for when they actually did the reveal back in March, February. So
they're gonna be fine, and it's gonna be great. There's gonna be a bunch of cool games, just like PlayStation announced. I just want to get this before we head out and we close this one down for the day. I want to get your pick, because obviously you're most excited about Spider-Man.
Yes,
totally understand that, because that was one of the best games.
When Spider-Man was first revealed back, like the first Spider-Man was revealed, that was like the most recent game that I've ever been so hyped about. So this is like my most current thing that I'm super hyped about.
So I totally knew that was coming no matter what. But I want to get your opinion on this because I was really excited because, I mean, I don't have a PlayStation right now. Who knows? You never know. But I was pretty excited. We're going to start
up a GoFundMe to get Wiley a PlayStation so we can actually play together on something online.
I think that a couple things caught my attention that maybe I didn't expect. First of all, I love all the new IPs.
Yeah, they look good.
I'm very excited because I'm sick and tired of, hey, we're going to rehash this and we're going to rehash that.
Yeah.
Give me some new stuff. Get excited. Let's go. Get original. Let's do some cool things. That's how we move forward. So, Destruction All-Stars looks cool.
Yes, it does.
I know that game, it could go both ways. That's one of those types of games that they could either come in and be like, well, it looks great, but it doesn't play that well. Or it's like, well, this is a big surprise.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Onrush. It reminds me of something that Codemasters would make.
It looks like Burnout, dude. It looks like something you find in a Burnout game.
Yeah.
But that, and then I liked the Oddworld trailer. I appreciated that. Oddworld, that's always
I have not played any of those games, so I wasn't super excited about that.
Wild games, fascinating games. They're one of those games, those types of games where it's like, this is not going to appeal to everybody, but the people who do like it are gonna love it. And
wasn't Double Fine like the original maker of those games, or am I misremembering?
I do not know. I could not give you an answer, and I'm not going to act like I know because that would be way worse. People would be like, these guys don't know what the heck they're talking about.
We know things about stuff that we like. That's, so if I don't like it, I don't know about it.
Yes. And I also thought Kenna, Bridge of the Spirits, looked pretty interesting. Had like a Pikmin vibe to it with the little guys running around. But I thought Horizon, the new Horizon game, I loved the first one.
Yeah.
I thought Aloy was a really cool character. That world was fascinating with the robots, but they were like creatures made out of robotic parts and stuff. So I loved it. I thought the story was a lot of fun. So I would say that I would, if I had a PlayStation, I'd be the most excited probably about that second Horizon game.
We'll get you one. If it's the death of me, we'll get you one.
Dude, local man dies because friend can't get PS5. What a shame.
We'll beg Haley for one. She'll help. She'll bail us out.
Well, we just got to get a Switch first. That's the only thing. We get Switch first, we're good.
Goodness, Lady needs a Switch of her own so she can play Animal Crossing on her own. But I will say, as far as Spider-Man, I'm definitely probably most hyped for in general. But as far as a new IP is concerned, I am kind of excited for Deathloop. It just the concept looks very interesting. I love the slightly neo-noir aesthetic to it, which, and I like the idea. Well, for starters, it's not a Bethesda game, but it's Bethesda published. Which tells me a lot about what they're expecting from the developers. So I love the vibe to that. I like noir feeling to it. I think there's going to be some humor involved. So as far as a new IP goes, I think that one is going to be one to look out for. Destruction All-Stars is another one. I love games like that. So I feel like it's going to be kind of like a battle royale / not battle royale type of feeling to it.
I love the sort of game show sports elements.
It's like
this arena.
It's basically what is it? It's arena wars in GTA, but like cartoony.
Dude, I don't know if you ever played, and we're running out of time, but I don't know if you ever played Monday Night Combat, but I just got vibes. I got Monday Night Combat vibes from that.
You will have to tell me about that because I am not familiar, but it sounds interesting.
It's pretty awesome. But
okay.
That's
we're definitely running out of time. I got to go here.
This episode full of just
I'm probably gonna have to cut some of this stuff out. But we'll see. But hey, next week we have some interesting things planned. We actually got some really interesting things planned for a couple of things. One we are,
dude. We could map out like the next 10 episodes if we
we're having a Son of the Buttonmashers extended universe going on.
Fanfic.
Fanfiction. That'll be the day. Oh man, I'm probably gonna eat those words in
there
like
will never
2-3
be a
years
day.
time.
I hope there will never be a day.
Oh boy. But yes, we really want to get some Heroes of the Storm content because we're both Heroes players. That'll probably be more detailed on Wiley's channel, and that's Fast Break Kids. If you haven't checked it out yet, that's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Do you guys have
Not
Twitter?
Twitter.
Not Twitter. Sorry.
Not Twitter.
I'm an awful friend. I didn't know you didn't.
I mean,
have a
no,
Twitter.
you could jump on Twitter and try to find it, but you just won't find it.
You can try. But then, so we got that idea, and then next week I want to talk about a certain type of video game that are probably both near and dear to our hearts that hasn't really been that kind of in the forefront, and I want to talk about some arcade games that you and I both grew up on. So that's going to be coming up in next week's episode. But until then, for Wiley, my name is Alex. Thank you for listening. It's game over from us. Peace out.